Alright folks, how's it going? It's old Des Catties. Just coming out for a bimbo, okay? And what I'm going to do now is it's kind of like, it's not a, you know, nothing, it's not survival or anything like that, but let's just say I've been out doing a bit of navigation, got myself a little bit lost, a little bit geographically challenged is the word I like to use. You check your watch, you see that the day's starting to move on, it's going to start getting dark pretty soon. So rather than just putting yourself in more of a difficult situation, what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to refer to the acronym of STOP. So that's to stop, think, observe and plan my next move. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take you and just going to do, as I say, a little simulation where I'm going to go to a spot, find a spot, and I'm just going to go through the throes of setting up a shelter, putting down a mat or a leaf mattress, and just a few other bits, just to sort of like simulate as if I was staying out for the one night, okay? And then I could obviously refocus on looking at my map and routing myself in the morning, okay? just bought a poncho liner to act as my blanket. I've obviously used my bivy bag, fill it up with leaves to use as a dowse bed. I could bring out my little inflatable mattress, but this will do, you know, just because it's an impromptu night out. So while I'm getting me brew sorted, I mean, obviously I'm just out for a day, you know, this is simulated, just out for the day, and kind of my survival kit is really what I'm carrying on my back. And in here I've got just some rations, some porridge, biscuits, oat biscuits, some noodles, and a Trek bar, oatmeal bar. Got one of those military bars there, and then I've got enough water to keep you going. I've also got my grail. Just behind me there's a little stream, so I can use that obviously to collect more water if I need to. So you know, I'm just here for tonight. You know, I think this is pretty suffice, really pretty comfortable. Even if it does rain, you know, at least I'm, you know, less conduction for obviously keep me off the floor, and then something to keep me semi-warm. I mean, if I get that cold, then obviously I can just make a long fire. But you know, as an impromptu kind of you know, make yourself semi-comfortable, I think I've got enough gear here to keep me going just for that, you know, just for the purpose of this video. I'm brutally honest right now, I'm sweating my knackers off. Just noticed I've actually got two fuel bottles. I've got this one and obviously this little hip flask. I mean, I suppose if I wanted to be found, obviously having a fire, I've got a whistle, but they're kind of active, sort of like active signals, I suppose, and then it'll become a passive fire or passive signal. And I've got obviously like an orange scarf, so I could maybe tie that to something that obviously attracts people's, you know, might attract people's attention. And such like. So yeah, I think I'm pretty comfortable. I've got the brew going on at the moment. I might even add some noodles actually, and you know, I've got some food as well. I mean, yeah, I carry a few traps and all that sort of stuff, but you know, I'm only here for an overnighter. I'm not staying out, you know, I'm not out here indefinitely, but this is obviously just, you know, as a scenario where you're just caught out for the night and the daylight's against you. you don't really need a lot, do you, really, I suppose. As long as you've got some sort of form of protection, you know, your immediate protection obviously being the clothes that you're wearing, then shelter. If you are caught out overnight, you want something obviously to keep you warm, something to keep you off the floor, to avoid conduction with the floor. And then I've got enough water. Food, yeah, I can go without, what, 3 weeks without food. I mean, you know, I don't want to because it's horrible, but you know, desperation, you get away with it just for one night. Even if you were to drink hot water, you know, I've got a stove, so I've got plenty of fuel and a few other bits and pieces just to basically keep my life comfortable. I said at the beginning of the video, sort of working to the acronym of sort of stop. So you stop if you know you're getting yourself into a situation, you know, if you're getting a little bit, you know, geographically challenged or lost, rather than put yourself in a situation where you start stressing yourself out and making the wrong decisions, it's not a bad idea just to stop, you know, even if it means sitting down and making a brew, you know, making a hot cup of tea or a cup of coffee, having a cigarette if you smoke or whatever, and just sort of like allowing yourself to breathe, calm yourself down to work out your next move. And then that goes on to thinking, you know, stop, think, you know, what are you going to do, what are your next actions going to be, you know, are you going to want to try and walk out in the dark, or are you going to sort of want to either, you know, you're carrying enough kit to sort of make a shelter, you know, an impromptu sort of tarp or bat or poncho in this situation, and then just settle down for the night and then observe around you. You know, if you are lost, you know, where, you know, even having a look at your map, you know, where did I get, you know, where did I deviate off, where have I, you know, try and go through all these little thoughts in your head and then plan your next move. Once you've got your shelter up and you're comfortable, you're all chilled out, you've got a bit of food inside you, maybe you've opened your rations and you're having a nice chocolate bar, a hot chocolate and all that while you're tucked up in your little, tucked up under your tarp for the night. Then you can plan your next move for the morning. All right, so it kind of is simple, really, you know, or simple in this particular situation. Okay, so anyway, my noodles are now boiling, so I'm going to tuck into them. Got it hot. So having something hot to eat, a drink, you know, get some food inside you. It's going to do a lot for those morales, for those little morale boosts. It makes sense to do it, you know. I mean, there has been known stories where people have been found sort of, you know, in mountainous environments and even in woodland environments and such like, where people have been found with their rucksacks and you know, fully laden rucksack, and they're laying next to it sort of dead. Note to self, I must make sure that I put some tea bags and that in my kit for this. For some reason I think I've used them. So what I've had to do is drain off the noodles. I don't like my noodles that when they're sort of full of water anyway, so I can actually drink the noodle juice. Oh, it's hot. Does wonders for the old morale though. Really, if you're just getting caught out on a one-nighter, you know, maybe I'm making it look pretty simple, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know, if there's anyone new out there that's watching it and going, you know, cool, there's so much to take in. Actually, it isn't. I mean, if you actually just get out there and even, you know, don't put yourselves in sort of like a situation where, you know, you become lost or anything else. Just go out to a quiet spot and you know, go through your little skills of setting up your poncho, tarp, shelter of your choice, even if it means making a debris shelter. I mean, if I'm brutally honest, I wouldn't be making a debris shelter unless I really had to, you know, because I've got the use of a poncho. I've made a dowse bed out of the bivy bag, and then obviously I've got the poncho liner to sleep under or in. You know, it's enough for me just to, you know, to sort of, you know, get through the night. Oh, that's lovely. I love noodles. Not the greatest for nutritional gains, but obviously they can be subsidised with other sort of natural edibles, really. I like putting nettles in there, even some ground ivy. There's ground ivy around here, can add to it, or even if you wanted to add some other, you know, ingredients that you're carrying with you. But I think I do like them. I think in situations like this, you know, where it becomes a little bit, you know, a little bit stressful for people, it's not a bad thing to even have sort of, when I used to teach young groups, I always used to say about keeping like some emergency rations. I always say that emergency rations are your comfort food. It's the food that when the situation becomes a bit live, where it becomes a bit serious, okay, and you know, everyone's maybe not got, you know, their head screwed on, it's not a bad thing to carry some emergency rations, and they might be in the form of, for me, I'd have noodles in there, but even to have some chocolate bars, maybe some hot chocolate, some boiled sweets, stuff that's going to give you a real sort of sugar buzz, you know, it's sort of just going to, it's that comfort thing again. Alright, so you know, it's not a bad thing to sort of carry some kind of emergency ration in your kit, or even on your person. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but I actually carry 2 handkerchiefs. This one is for my nose, which I always keep in my left pocket, even in my pyjamas and whatever at home. And this one is for admin. It's for kind of cleaning up my pots. If I don't put my pots on the fire to sort of dry out and such like, then what I'll do is I'll once the pots are rinsed out, I'm literally just put a drop of water in my mug to rinse out the juice from the noodles, and then what I'll do is I'll wipe it dry with this little cloth that I use. And then what I can do then, I can then hang that up to sort of air dry out a little bit, or put it in my pocket. I did a video not long ago, hexamine, with the hexamine stove, and I showed you a sort of like maybe a little hack to make a little burner for it. Now also I've got one of these are the old Crusader type burners, and when you buy them, you can obviously, you've got the option to buy the dragon fuel, which are the blocks that go inside there, but I actually think they're too expensive. But the actual space inside there is the right size to place a boot polish tin in there. And then what I do with the boot polish tin, I've done exactly the same as with my other burner, and it's got some stove rope in there. And then what I do is that burner actually goes inside there, and then there's my mug, and then the mug now sits in there. That can be folded up, placed back in its bag with the cup and the spoon, and also the little foil cover that I've you know, just knocked together just to stop the water from evaporating and letting it cool a bit quicker. So going a little foil lid as well, that can go in there as well. And then an Nalgene bottle. So yeah, another little sort of compact kit there, folks. Alright. So I'm just about to go to bed. Who cares to join me? So I've obviously got the option now of obviously just putting the poncho line completely over me. I'm on the dowse mattress. I'm going to get my head down. morning. Oh gosh, I'm so ready to go now. So better pack up my stuff. I've obviously got my plan, and I'm going to walk out the woods. So I've just scraped over my leaves for a little bit of leave no trace. Alright, so hope you enjoyed that, folks. A little bit of a very simple kind of being stuck outside for an emergency overnighter. Obviously it can get a hell of a lot worse than that. You know, there's a ton of variables. You know, if you had no kit, dropped out of an aeroplane, fell into a river, so on and so on and so forth. Right, but this is just a real simple one. Okay, so yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Alright, please check out the description for any kit that you might want. I'll also put the stove rope and all that down there, you know, if you still think that's a good idea for the you know, for your little stoves. Alright, so I'm going to take a bimble home now. Catch you later, folks.